Thanks to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. A 6'2" guard with no elite athleticism. Drafted 33rd overall. Overlooked by nearly every team in the NBA. That was a scouting report on Jalen Brunson. But years later, the same player teams doubted became the man who ended a 27-year finals drought and carried the New York Knicks back to the biggest stage in basketball. 11 straight playoff victories, 10 of them coming by double digits. A unanimous Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Nearly 28 points and 7 assists per game throughout the postseason. For years, the league told Brunson he was too small, too slow, and too limited to become a true superstar. Now, he's a centerpiece of the most dominant Knicks playoff run in more than half a century. So how did the player Dallas allowed to walk away become one of the most unstoppable forces in basketball? To understand that, you have to go back to the night almost everyone ignored him. June 2018. Barclays Center. The NBA draft. The cameras were focused on the future faces of the league. Luka Doncic, Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, Jaren Jackson Jr., and the other lottery stars expected to change franchises. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson sat and waited. Pick after pick passed. 32 players heard their names called before Dallas finally selected him with the 33rd overall pick. The reason was simple. The league couldn't see past the measurements. At 6'2" and 190 pounds, scouts questioned his speed, explosiveness, defensive ability, and whether his physical limitations would prevent him from becoming anything more than a backup guard. They thought they had already figured out his ceiling before he ever played an NBA game. But what those evaluations missed was everything that made Brunson special. He entered the league with one of the greatest college resumes of his generation, 2 NCAA championships, National Player of the Year honors, Illinois Mr. Basketball, McDonald's All-American recognition, and a history of delivering when the pressure was highest. More importantly, he grew up learning the game from his father, Rick Brunson, a 9-year NBA veteran who built his career without superstar talent. Rick taught him that success wasn't about being the biggest or the fastest. It was about preparation, toughness, and maximizing every opportunity. Those lessons created a mindset that would eventually turn the player nobody believed in into the superstar nobody can stop. Rick Brunson's career was never defined by highlight reels, superstar headlines, or all-star appearances. It was built on the things that allow players to survive in the NBA without elite athletic gifts, discipline, basketball IQ, relentless preparation, and the mentality to keep fighting when others overlook you. That was the environment Jalen Brunson was raised in, and it was the one thing no scouting report could measure. His first 4 seasons in Dallas followed the same frustrating pattern. He was dependable, he was efficient, he was valuable, but he was always viewed as a piece of someone else's team, never the player a franchise could build around. Then the 2022 playoffs changed everything. When Dallas superstar was unavailable early in the series against Utah, Brunson finally received the opportunity everyone had ignored. He exploded for 41 points in Game 2, followed it with 31 in Game 3, and helped carry the Mavericks all the way to the Western Conference Finals. It was a type of player performance that should have changed how a franchise viewed its own player. But Dallas still hesitated. Brunson reportedly gave the Mavericks multiple opportunities to secure his future, even at a team-friendly number. And they passed. That decision became one of the biggest mistakes of the modern NBA. In the summer of 2022, the New York Knicks changed the course of their franchise by signing Brunson to a 4-year, $104 million contract, a deal many immediately criticized as an overpay. But the jokes didn't last long. From the moment he stepped into Madison Square Garden, Brunson changed the identity of the Knicks. In his first season, he averaged 24 points per game, led New York to its first playoff series victory since 2013, and used an all-star snub as fuel. Then he reached another level. In year 2, Brunson averaged 28.7 points per game, ranked 4th in the NBA in scoring, earned his first all-star selection, finished top 5 in MVP voting, made All-NBA, and delivered a legendary 61-point performance against San Antonio. The contract that once looked like a gamble quickly became one of the smartest moves any team had made in years. The player everyone underestimated had become the foundation of a championship contender. Then the playoffs arrived, and Jalen Brunson reached a level nobody saw coming. He scored 40 or more points in 4 straight playoff games, joining an incredibly rare group of players in NBA history that includes Jerry West, Bernard King, and Michael Jordan. He dominated the first round, leading all players with 35.5 points per game, and finished the postseason averaging 32.4 points per night, second only to Joel Embiid. It was the best playoff performance of his career, but it ended in the most painful way possible. In Game 7 against Indiana, Brunson suffered a broken hand, and the Knicks' deepest postseason run in years came to an end with their leader leaving the court injured after giving everything he had. But that moment revealed something even more important than his numbers. It showed the kind of player Brunson truly was. That off-season, he had a chance to wait one more year and potentially secure a massive $269 million contract. Instead, he signed a 4-year, $156.5 million extension with New York, reportedly leaving around $113 million on the table. It became one of the biggest voluntary sacrifices by an NBA star in the modern era. Brunson wasn't chasing a bigger contract or personal recognition. He was prioritizing winning. By accepting less, he gave the Knicks the financial flexibility to continue building around him. New York used that opportunity to add Karl-Anthony Towns, strengthen the roster, and create a deeper championship contender. The impact was immediate. The Knicks finished the season with 51 wins, returned to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, and Brunson proved something the league had questioned for his entire career. True franchise players aren't only defined by the points they score. They're defined by the sacrifices they are willing to make when chasing greatness. After Indiana ended New York's playoff run, the offseason brought a wave of uncertainty. Tom Thibodeau was gone. Another promising postseason ended without a championship, and questions about the Knicks' title window started getting louder. But one thing remained undeniable. Jalen Brunson was still a problem the NBA had no answer for. He doesn't beat defenders with overwhelming speed. He doesn't rely on freak athleticism or rare physical advantages. He wins with precision, elite footwork, unbelievable patience, perfect timing, and a basketball IQ that allows him to see plays develop before they happen. In a league built around size, length, and explosive athleticism, Brunson has proven that mastery of the fundamentals can still be unstoppable. Every season, every playoff run, every defensive scheme, teams know the move coming. They know where he wants to go, and they still can't find a consistent way to slow him down. Then came another challenge, a new coach in a completely different system. Mike Brown arrived in New York with an offensive philosophy that was the opposite of what the Knicks had relied on under Thibodeau. Instead of heavy minutes and constant isolation, Brown introduced more movement, deeper rotations, and a system designed to keep players fresh throughout the grind of a championship run. The goal wasn't to make Brunson do everything. It was to make him even more dangerous by surrounding him with better opportunities. The results were immediate. Brunson became more efficient, the Knicks became more unpredictable, and the offense reached another level. The league had spent years asking whether a 6'2" guard could truly lead a contender. Mike Brown's system answered the question by giving Brunson something every great player needs, the freedom to be himself. Earlier this season, the Knicks reached another historic milestone when they captured the NBA Cup, defeating the Spurs in the championship game. At the center of it all was Jalen Brunson. He dominated the tournament, averaging nearly 35 points per game and owning Cup MVP honors with 19 of the 20 available votes. It was the first in-season tournament title in franchise history. But inside Madison Square Garden, everyone understood the bigger picture. The Knicks weren't chasing an NBA Cup banner. They weren't looking for a small piece of history. Team owner James Dolan made the message clear. The only banner that truly mattered was the one that had been missing for more than 50 years. The NBA championship banner. So the celebration was short. Brunson and the Knicks quickly turned their focus toward the goal that had haunted the franchise for generations. By the end of the regular season,